Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to show you a little project. I got my 60-gallon air compressor and I've been draining it, and as you can see it makes a mess on the floor. Now I've left my air compressor on the crate, and that 2x4 is kind of center line to the drain plug underneath. So it makes it really hard to put like a tub or something underneath. So today I'm going to do a little project, kind of getting sick of the rusty stains on the floor. Today's project, I'm going to get rid of that problem and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Okay, first thing, 9/16 wrench, and we're going to take out the factory installed drain plug. Okay, the threads on the plug that came out of the compressor is a 1/4-inch thread. So I've gone to the hardware store, picked up a couple things. I've got a 1/4-inch threaded elbow with a pressure lock end for 1/4-inch water line. I also have a 1/4-inch and 1/4-inch valve. Now these are good, they're built for water lines, so they got all the gaskets and O-rings inside. Fairly cheap. I think the valve was about $10 and the threaded elbow was, I think, $4. 1/4-inch water line. I went with clear so I can see, make sure the line is clear and all the water's been blown out. And just a couple little 1/4-inch clamps to hold down the valve steady, so I can easily turn it open and closed. I went with the flexible line because it's more versatile. I do have plans to epoxy my garage floor come the summertime. Those videos will be coming. So I went with the flexible line just to make it easier to disconnect and reconnect. Give me a couple minutes, I'll get set up and we'll get going with some more video. One thing I would like to point out to everybody too on PVC or plastic fittings, do not use thread tape or pipe dope. It's used on metal fittings as a lubricant, not a sealant, unlike what some people believe. If you use that like pipe dope or thread tape on PVC fittings, it can cause you to over torque and break the fitting itself. So no pipe dope and no thread tape. Basically simple, thread it into the compressor. Use a wrench to set it to the position, being very careful not to over torque. I just want to set it just like this. I'll cut some line, I'll get it in place, and we'll get it set up. Stand by. Okay, one thing to point out too, when you're doing your plastic line, a lot of people have leaking issues from their fittings. Most of the time, if you don't have a square cut or you have like a burr, an indent or anything like that, it's going to cause you issues. So you want to make sure you find a good piece along your line and using a very sharp knife, cut it as square as you can. Installation's pretty simple. It just pushes in, push it all the way to the back till you can't push no more, and give it a pull out. Your locking ring should pull out with it, and then stop. Do it a couple times just to make sure it's in there good and snug. Just like that. Okay, for my valve, I've chosen to place it right here. So my line's gonna come up from the compressor. I'm gonna intercept it with the valve here, and then I'm gonna bring this line down here, and I'll show you where I'm gonna put it into my sump. Now, like I said, nice clean square cuts. Check for any burrs. It's as simple as pushing it in, pulling it, make sure it's tight, do it again, nice and tight, just like that. Take my other end that I just cut, check for any burrs, like I've said, push it in, pull it out, push it in again and pull it out, and there's my line. I think I'm going to change. I'm going to put the valve up top rather than on the side. I think that looks a little bit better, neater. We'll get that in place. Take one of my clamps, take and screw it in place. Take the other clamp, in place just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to run my line down into my sump here. I do have a future project coming this summer where I'm going to do the epoxy in the dog wash and the whole garage. So I'm going to just do a quick little fix here, cut the line, pass it through my sump drain here, and keep that until next summer where I'll change it. So line is cut, simply place it into the sump just like that. Quick little project, so much easier getting at the valve from there than going underneath and leaving that mess of rusty water. It'll now go down into the sump and out to the sewer. I'll build some pressure into the air tank now, the compressor, and I'll give it a little test run, show you guys how it works. Okay, so the compressor is full of air. One thing I did add is I secured the line here to my drain, just so that when the pressure goes through the hose, it doesn't force it to come up. The valve's in place and down underneath. Hopefully you get to see a bit of rusty waters so you guys can see the water come through, but let's have a try her out. There we go. Drain just like that. I did go with a smaller size tubing. The reason being is this way I know the water is being forced out and I'm getting air pushed back through. Where I'm doing like an uphill grade with my hose, I want to make sure that all the water is making it to this point and going down into the drain. So that's why I went with the smaller tubing. You can definitely step it up to 1/2 inch if you're going to do kind of a level drain or level elevation with your tubing, but that's why I went with that. And as I stated, I'm going to be doing a different setup here once I do the epoxy floor. I may screw it and secure it down to the corner, running like this into the drain. That's quick and easy. It cost me about $16 to complete. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, subscribing to get more videos. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down below. Questions I'll answer as I get a chance to, and we'll see you guys next time.